Welcome. We're gonna round about another overtime, every time marching workout with yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, and from my neighborhood, across my old neighborhood and my new neighborhood. Nothing that I want to go back to. Turn my head left or right before I cross this street. Beautiful sky. Look at that. Beautiful sky. We're gonna go south from. Now we're heading south. Coming from the north here, my old neighborhood right there, not far, and roundabout, nothing that I want to go back to on these toes, auctioning everything that I own 93% and celebrating this 40-day journey now. August, September, 7 years ago, I went on a trip that changed my entire life. Across Canada, coast to coast, with an anonymous friend who won my friend because of the money, because I never had many. If I ever make $1 million, gonna give her half 50% of $1 million to be in the train, and gonna go to the south, do some working out, training, some exercising. As it is my medicine and choice, and I overtime it every time, and now I'm heading on that south a little bit. I'm very thirsty, so I gotta go hydrate. Here from the cross, I got my 44 cents candy, 44 cents candy. So I'm grateful, thankful. Rent paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. Rent paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. Practice that gratitude. Unedited raw, gotta film it with this laptop. Sometimes you gotta work with the tools you're given. Always LOV to the firefighters, LOV to the truckers, LOV to the butchers, LOV to the nurses, LOV to the doctors, grocery store clerks, plumbers, electricians, construction workers on those cranes. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean, this Quebec, a Canadian, North American. Also can be international, universal as much as I can, and I'm a mystic who believes in reincarnations. I was born across the ages. Sometimes a man, sometimes a woman, you get that. 50-50 Rainbow Dragon, yours truly, and no now. Today's all I got as I survived COVID back in 2020. Carpe diem it every day since then, Survived COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease, like death, pestilence, and disease for me, COVID, and I survived it. And 7 years ago, I crossed Canada coast to coast. August went to Vancouver, British Columbia, then came back in September. We went to the Maritimes in Halifax. So 7 years ago, that changed my whole life, and now I'm cleaning my room, office, and temple. Everything gotta go. Gonna give 93% of everything that I own. Auctioning everything, making offer, the glasses, the hat, the shirt. Most of my clothing have been purchased, of course, second hand, blah blah blah. Most of my clothing has been purchased second hand, and get that son, my public king. But sometimes I still get moody, but I conquered being depressed and suicidal when I crossed Canada coast to coast, and a few months, weeks afterwards, I've written a thesis, a document, of course, relating to the importance of mass financing citizens to cross-travel North American citizen integrated initiative for the public-private partnership of financing citizens to travel. Sometimes my documents, my initiatives, my essays, and have long, fancy academic, philosophical, intellectual titles mostly due to my Asperger's condition. Sometimes I utilize functional, technical, or philosophical, academic, too much intellectual cosmopolitanism in my language, but sometimes I gotta break it down. So basically what I was calling and I'm calling for, and what I've written, is the need to mass finance citizens in North America, Canada, US, Mexico via public-private partnership for travel, so tourist initiatives, because it does me some good. And my brothers and sisters, super important to channel, sublimate the aggression, super important to channel and sublimate the aggression, super important to channel and sublimate the aggression. And gratitude is super good for mental health. Gratitude and fitness, again, I have been and will call for the mass financing for citizens to work out, train, and exercise. I've lost more than 80 pounds when I crossed Canada coast to coast. That event in my life really changed my whole life. And since then, I've been on a fitness journey. And since then, on a fitness journey embarked after I came down from that depression, being suicidal. And that's what changed my life, So the course of my life took a turn then for the better. And I left, I have retrograde amnesia, so I have like blackouts of memory. I remember moving from a moldy place, and I was joking around. We're not in a joke, really, kind of a realness that, of course, if I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. If I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. If I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. And I changed. You know, I don't remember much, and just remember, of course, sometimes with the things, of course, which we got, you know, so we gotta be grateful and thankful, and I could be of service anyway, 24/7, you know. I'm a philosopher, artist, and geopolitical analyst and theorist. That's my thing, but, you know, because Asperger's, again, is not a mental illness. It is a neurological, mental, developmental, divergent condition, which makes us predisposed, us Aspies, I mean, to repetitive actions, to certain rituals and clumsiness and social awkwardness, weirdness, which is still misunderstood, and it's not a mental illness. Asperger's is a neurological mental divergent psychic condition, neurodivergent mental psychic condition. Asperger's is a neurological mental psychic condition. It just makes me predisposed to repetitive, ritualistic like routines, you know, and many Aspies know what I'm talking about, and saying twice, 3 times the same thing, repeating. And echolalia is another symptom. So there are symptoms which we have to manage as Asperger's when we interact with other peoples, but besides that, of course, we have our strengths, which come from our main obsessions. Usually that is our kingdom, our domains, the obsessive interest. And mine is geopolitics, and I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist who has predicted, I predicted the current international conflagration which is unfolding now. In other words, a World War III, a World War III, a World War III. And I believe I have some solutions, and it is with solutions that I first and foremost, mainly, I focus on, because I'm not much for arguing too much, you know. And I know 100% that with all the imperfections, all the flaws, and I'm a rock and roll philosopher. Rock and roll is another obsession, so I rock and roll for those farmers, 24/7, for the truckers, for the butchers, for those changing up the aqueducts, public workers, tricks, that brains and that muscle. Take some brain and some muscle, the maintenance and the building of civilization, you know, and everything that I do is fundamentally a call, CALL, call for a public-private partnership. I'm just gonna pass through the park there because I'm really thirsty, so I gotta hydrate. And now, as I'm going to get that thirst quenched, I'm gonna meditate on all the work, of course, which it took to build underneath across North American big cities, all the sewer systems in the 20th century, thousands, tens of thousands of hours with steel and concrete and brains and muscle and technical knowledge and know-how just to build, for us to have drinkable potable water, and now to maintain it in the 21st century. We got a lot of work in the public-private partnership. So yeah, I just gotta turn my head left and right, left and right. Gotta turn my head left and right. And of course, we gotta be mindful of that we North Americans, as a philosopher, of course, I got my thesis called the North American Civilizational Complex, together with my brothers and sisters in the USA. North Americans Unite is the call, blah 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 blah. And of course, I was in the USA, born 3 times, once a woman, twice as a man, both times served in the United States Army in a parallel past life. Both times served in a past life in a parallel past army. In a parallel life, served in a past life. I served in a past army. In the United States Armed Forces, twice as a man, and once I was born as a woman. And now you get that rainbow dragon, and, you know, philosopher, artist, and got symptoms that I have to manage of Asperger's, like echolalia, which can be annoying, you know. Echolalia, that means, is a symptom where I might hear something somebody that says. You might say something, a phrase, and I might repeat exactly word for word, what you just said. And some people might think that that's mocking or making fun. It's not that. It's that Asperger's, we have symptoms which we have to manage, which are non-normative, which are kind of weird and strange. So I might repeat, an Aspie like myself might repeat what somebody says, but that's just echolalia, you know. And I love to see couples when I march holding hands and hugging, which I did, and always makes me hope. And that gives me, of course, a little bit of HOP, you know, to get a little bit of that hope. And I like to matchmake a little bit, and, you know, I play that rainbow rainbow, you know, but pride 24/7, you know. Rock and roll for the butchers. Now thinking about the truckers on the roads. The truckers, the bakers, the nurses, the grocery store clerks. You know, all involved in the production, distribution of food. LOV to our truckers, thinking about them. Please, strippers, give them a discount if they stop. I wouldn't own a strip club, but I would own a LGBTQ integrated, you know, where men and women, I want to have the rainbow joint, you know, rainbow dragons joint. If I ever do, I would be that, but it would be men and women dancing. But I would give discounts to the truckers, farmers, and you know, nurses, public workers would get discounts, man. Gotta get that 50-50, you know. It's not all about the private, it's not all about the public. And I'm not totally selfless. I don't make pretense to be totally altruistic, you know. Right now, my only stress is financial. Right now, today, in the past 3.5 years, my only stress was economic financial. My only stress today now in the past 3.5 years was economic financial. I mean, Asperger's, I deal with it on a daily basis, and I learned to manage the symptoms. And due to Asperger's, you know, I lost many employments, and people get confused what Asperger's is, and it's not a mental illness. It's a neurological developmental mental condition, and makes us Aspies predisposed to obsessive interest. And my obsessive interest is geopolitics, the study, the analysis of geopolitics 24/7. I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, an artist, an athlete, and parallel to geopolitics, I'm also obsessed about sports and fitness, and dancing. DAN, dance is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. Let's make a meditation. Whoever built this, thank you. In the 20th century, whoever built this for me to drink potable, drinkable water, I don't have to go sip the river. Sip the river, its civilization is a privilege, you know, so. Oh yeah. Oh, pardon, sorry. So, also thank you to the public workers who built the park there, and you know, these benches. You know, I said there's many benches to be painted. You bring me the tools, and sometimes you gotta get that bureaucratic permission, you know. And I'll paint the benches. I'll do the volunteering. Bring me some blue, bring me some yellow, bring me some purple, bring me some orange, bring me some red, my favorite color, and I'll paint the benches. See benches here? It'd be my pleasure to put on some paint on these benches here. I'll do it with LOVE. Love is also action, you know, for the love for the public. I can paint them some color, some nice color. I can volunteer, you know. I like volunteering anyway, so, you know, we got a lot of public-private partnership, private-public work to do, you know. It's work with me in the past years, independent work, and we got a lot of benches, a lot of parks, see? Parks need to be replaced. You need to replace mass parks. See how many just here? Just bring me the tools, bring me the paint, 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 bring me the tools, and I'll do it. See? Especially this one. I would love to paint this one right here. Some blue, purple, or yellow. You know? Some color there. You know, I'm willing to do it. But you gotta bring me the, however, mayor, my sister citizen, Mayor Valley plan here, Hawk Island, Montreal, Hawk Island, Hawk Island is, you know, I think it's blah, 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 lot, blah, 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 lot, blah, blah. And bureaucracy, we gotta build our new infrastructure, 21st century. Gotta thank, salute, love to those who pick up the garbage every day, man. Three services I got every week: the compost, the recycling, the compost, the recycling, the compost, the recycling, and the compost, the recycling, the compost, the recycling, you know. and the garbage compost recycling. And on the compost I worked in 2018 a few months, like 3.5 months, and it was like a contract, and I delivered the bins, and I have knowledge of composting, and that's what it is with that, so we gotta get that drill, man, and that's for that play, man, for the youth. Gotta get those yellow flowers right there, man. The youth, man. The youth are happy, I'm happy, so gotta get it at XYZ. My children, they're youth, playing in the field. That's worth carrying, being armed and being part of security services for their safety, to go do some sports as they're doing now, and for people holding hands and kissing, and fresh summer love. It's still summer until September. 45 days for the next 45 days. It's still summer, please. Brings me joy. Their joy is to see. My joy is to see their joy sometimes, my joy is to see their joy. And my joy is to see their joy now, just beside financial stress, and I'm open for business. I'm good. I'm joyous, I live a simple, austere, severe 21st century Spartan lifestyle, but don't get it twisted, I play defense. I'm gonna play D, we gotta play D, North Americans, we gotta play D. We gotta play that defense, so coast to coast, ocean to ocean, based on that. 13-3, the lowest ever scoring Super Bowl was between Tom Brady and leading the Patriots to a 13-3 victory over the Rams, and my 49ers, yeah, they lost to those Ravens, the Harbaugh, two brothers facing each other, right? Harbaugh ball, aka the blackout ball, aka the blackout ball, so that's another one. And here to my black brothers and sisters, 13.3%, and we can do better. We to work together, and fight to fight racism, because sometimes we got the subconscious elements where North Americans were diverse, Mexico is included in North America, and if I can offer right now what I offer everybody else, hugs, big kisses got by the trillions, and I got some food if somebody needs. I got some food to share, but money I don't have right now. Money is to buy, sell. I believe my DRT theory best. The solution comes out of being cursed with Asperger's again, and again, Asperger's is not a mental illness. It is a neurological divergent mental condition which makes me predisposed to obsessive interests, and those obsessive interests for myself as an I got at Asperger's, so it's geopolitics, and I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist who has predicted the current situation, which is unfolding at the moment, back in 2019. Thank you, salutations as well to my fellow citizen who made a peace sign. We gotta sometimes get that peace via some strength but some love, because we cannot base everything on force. That's beautiful. See, we got the bees. Where the bees there, honey? So here we see you got some public workers. So I gotta salute the public workers, because all their work makes us to have potable, drinkable water. So imagine all the work in the 20th century, which was done with brains and muscle, and they're here that they're doing. So I'm doing some dancing rock and roll for them, and always mindful of everything that's transpiring across the collective North American complex, the North American civilizational collective, that is. Everything that's transpiring across North America now. LOV to the truckers now, LOV to the doctors now, LOV to the ambulance drivers, LOV to those making a cheeseburger, a hamburger, delivering the food. LOV, love to the firefighters, love to those public workers now changing some aqueduct, filling up some potholes across North America, picking up the garbage, the recycling. LOV, see, public workers here, big machines. Gotta get that truck. See here, somebody gotta say LOV to them. They're doing a lot of work for them. Let's check it out a little bit. And we're gonna do a little bit of that meditation, so Gonna do a little bit of that meditation. Gonna do a little bit of that meditation here. See all the work that's being done here at the corner. Thank you, LOV to the public workers. Gotta get that acknowledgement, and I'm a bit on the thirsty, so I'm gonna go right there, and then we're gonna go do some workout, meditating always. Blah 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 blah. Take some brains and muscle. This gotta be for the 21st century. We got massive work to do in North American Collective. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're gonna play that defense like the hard ball, aka blackout ball. Blackout like my memory, retrograde amnesia. Woke up, moved to a better place, and here I am doing some meditation for the public works, for the public workers. All the labor brains, I gotta offer them something, what I gotta offer, what I can offer. Some of that good rock and roll. Public workers on the steel toes, with the cranes, with the cement. I got a tiny feet and the tiny hands. I ain't even got no money for the guitar, but hey, I got some of that big fire rainbow dragon, spit it out for the construction workers and public workers changing up some aqueducts. You know that we build a block, you know that we build a rock, you know that we build a socks for the rainbow, for the yellow, for the screams and for the hello. For those changing up some of those aqueducts in steel toes, that's with the mark. With the mark and halo blocks. For the black and white and rainbow. For the public workers, here we get that rock on that roller. Ocean to ocean, with that coast to coast. If and I don't want to hear nothing but that love in action. Can me see some blah blah blah. Gotta give me ha ha ha. Gotta get it for the cranes. Gotta change up in the lanes. Gotta give it for the public workers. Big machines. Big machines. Big machines. They gotta go hello cement. They gotta do some of that good rock and roll. Hey, for the public workers, love you guys. Love you guys. Love you. Hello, V. With all the whatever being androgynous, pansexual, being androgynous, pansexual. Being androgynous, whatever, that's just part of who I am, rainbow dragon, but I appreciate the work, and if I can wash y'all feet, if I ever on a stage, I'm gonna give you discount, free tickets, something like that, for the public workers of North America. Public workers of North America. Construction de eau potable, so this is saying that it's being the conduit for the potable water. See, spring 2024, autumn 2025, 13.2 million, 13.2 million, 13.2 million, 13.2 million. Spring, autumn, so it's gonna go for the construction workers, Construction, it needs a little bit of translation, so do the free putting for that French, because we liable prevents. We made here the great compromise, but construction you can deduct in English. Investment, time for the work. Spring, entrepreneur, you can get that translated by yours truly, Dragon. Free translation services, that's what I do it. Put it in for the French language here, being a Quebecer, North American, Canadian. We made the great linguistic compromise, and we still something which we got to do, We got to do the great linguistic compromise, the great linguistic compromise, what I call the great linguistic compromise for the collective. The collective North American civilizational complex, the collective North American civilizational complex. And hey, thank you, big appreciation, big respect. Respect, because I drink, I just drank, I'm gonna drink some more thanks to you guys, and it takes that financing, blah blah blah, brains and muscle, money is to buy, sell, money is to buy, sell, money is to buy, sell, blah 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 blah, money is to buy, sell right here, see. We got the brain, civilization, nature, LOV firefighters, LOV public workers, LOV construction workers, LOV public workers, LOV construction workers, LOV to those construction workers, public workers, LOV farmers, nurses, doctors on the roads now, firefighters, LOV to the firefighters, LOV to the construction workers, LOV to the butchers, LOV to the bakers, LOV to the nurses, LOV to the doctors, LOV to here Quebecers, Canadians, big loving, big appreciation, Rainbow Dragon. We got a lot of massive work to do here in construction, and it takes that public and the private. Everything that I do is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex. So I gotta present my salutation, and I got a thing for big machines. Although I got a tiny clit dick. But nobody spits that rock and roll, that fire. Yeah. If I'm married, probably gonna be that cuckold. So what if I sing it for the butcher so that they can dance and get some of that vigor, vigor, vigor? Spell it with the O and spell it with the U. Spell it with a side and spell it with a lime. Spell it with a life and spell it with a crime. Spell it for the lime and spell it for the dimes. Takes a little bit of muscle. Takes a little bit of some of that brain hustle. I don't drink, but I don't smoke. All I do is that push-ups on those rockin' that roller. But y'all drinking and y'all loving for me. 'Cause I love to watch and see. Watch my children like a hawk. I watch my children like a hawk. Tick-tock on the clock. For the name of the goddess, I say goddess. Woo, they don't drink too much wine about it. Send me some of that good. So you know just like you should. Ain't nobody rocking like the dragon. Who say no, they fucking lying. Sometimes takes that soft and sweet. It ain't all about that. You know who got more guns than the gangsters is the police. You know who got more guns than the gangster? You know that is the police. You know who got more guns than the gangsters? We all know that is the police. And hey, for the NATO, for the troops, I gotta sing, gotta swing that swing salute. For our NATO, for our troops. All standing World War III, we got united for the coast to coast, you see. For that English, gotta speak in some translation for that German. Here we French, we kiss it like Celine Dion and swing it. Swing it from those hips. You better rock and roll and shake to this. That's that freestyle Rainbow Dragon 24/7. Rock and roll, another obsessive interest. When I rock and roll, and that's when I focus, and that's our speeds, When we do those things we're obsessed about, such as geopolitics and fitness and rock and roll, for me, that's when I am in my waters, in my domain, When I'm in my domain, my waters, that's rock and roll and geopolitics and fitness, sports, dancing. Dancing is my favorite sport. And gotta turn my head left or right before I cross the street. I'm gonna discuss the DRT a little bit and gonna go hydrate the DRT because we need to do more construction worker like this and public works, and I believe that my DRT is the only solution. What is the DRT? I'm gonna now discuss it. So the DRT stands for debt refusion theory. I believe it is the only solution at this point in time, so this point in time is the only solution for the DRT. Stands for debt refusion theory. It also includes monetary integration theory. And the reason that I do say that is the only solution is because due to the fact that now we pay the amount of interest which we pay on the public debt, the amount of interest which we'll pay, of course, is 46.5 billion. We pay 20.3 billion. I'm gonna turn my head left and right. Gonna turn my head left and right still, because you never know. Brakes malfunction. What if the brakes malfunction? And what if the citizen driver presses the accelerator, What if it can happen? So the DRT stands for debt refusion theory. It includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is exactly what was done in the European Union. Monetary integration theory is basically creating a new central bank like they did with the European Central Bank, and they did the ECB, European Central Bank. We're going to do the same, because my DRT contains monetary integration. Basically is what the Europeans did with the creation of the ECB, European Central Bank, and the creation of the common currency between different nation states known as the euro. But the reason I do say and do believe that my DRT theory is the only solution is, of course, due to the fact that now the amount of interest which we pay has more than doubled from 2020 to 2021 to 46.5, 46.5 to 46.5, 46.5 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. So it got 9 zeros, a billion. It went from 20.3 times 2 would have been 20.3 times 2 would have been 40.6. So now it's 6.5. So it more than doubled. Just paying interest on the debt, right? Just the servicing of the debt. In other words, paying interest. The interest payment on the debt doubled, more than doubled. In just 3 years, it more than doubled. So my DRT theory, my brothers and sisters, due to being cursed with the Asperger's, I present the blessing, and the blessing is across North America, across the collective North American civilizational complex, or across the collective North American civilization or civilizational complex, we have to implement the DRT, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Rate. So I'm going to explain it. I do believe, because I know to be the only solution. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt. My $10,500 as a citizen, I got about $10,500 Canadian debt. My debt, your debt, all the debt coast to coast. So all the debt coast to coast, all my debt, your debt, my debt, our debt, coast to coast, my debt, your debt, 10,500 of mine, yours, ours. We're gonna add it all up. So we're gonna add all the debt, the public and the private, and keep in mind that my DRT theory, debt refusion theory, contains what's called in finance monetary integration theory. So that is what they did in the European Union. So it contains that. My theory contains that, but we're going to do it different. We're going to take all the debt, public and private, Canadian dollar debt. We're going to have to do the conversion because the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global finance, and tourism, worldwide, global, internationally. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt. We're going to convert it to US dollars, to US dollars, to US dollars. The Mexican peso debt, all the Mexican peso debt, all the Mexican peso debt, all the Mexican peso debt. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna create, of course, we're gonna add it all up, and we're gonna create a common currency called, that's the universal exchange rate based on the US dollar. So we're gonna take all the debt. We got a beautiful blue sky, there, yeah, So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. My 10,500, we're gonna convert it to US dollars. All the public private debt of Canada, US, Mexico. All the public and the private debt of Canada, US, Mexico. We're gonna convert it to US dollars. And we're gonna create, of course, the universal exchange unit based on the US dollar. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, and that's what we're gonna do, the conversion, So that's what we're gonna do, man. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna convert it to US dollars. Gonna get it to the XYZ, to the XYZ, to the XYZ. Yeah, we're gonna get it all, the public and the private debt, and we're gonna take it on the PVP, public and the private debt. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, and we're gonna convert it, and we're gonna create the euro. We're gonna create the universal exchange unit, 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 create the universal exchange unit, create the universal exchange unit. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. It's gonna hydrate a bit. Gotta thank the public workers who built the infrastructure 20th century for us, me, you, and us. Have water to drink, potable. Potable. So we're gonna take all the public. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. My 10,000 gonna add it all up. But we're gonna have to do the conversion. All the public private debt. We're gonna convert it to US dollars. So, and that will be the initial money supply for a new bank. So all the public and the private debt, convert it to US dollars. So all the public and the private debt, convert it to US dollars, right? So my 10,500, your 10,500, whatever yours is, I don't know how much you have, but how much all citizens have, right? So all the public and the private. Yeah, we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. So all the private and the public debt, we're gonna of course convert it to US dollars. So all the public and the private debt, We're gonna convert it to US dollars. We're gonna convert it. Watch the car. What's the car? See.
Il se pose pas des questions.
See a force. No, travailleurs. Fucking bastard. Dirty. That's it. DRT debt refusion theory. Take all the public and the private debt. Take the DRT, we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. My debt, your debt, we're gonna do the conversion. All that will finance a new central bank. All the public and the private debt will be the creation of the new currency called the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, based on the US dollar. So that is the only solution, the creation of the DRT, the debt refusion theory. So we're gonna do some push-ups here. We're gonna play some gridiron. We're gonna do a little bit of ha. We're gonna do a little bit of drills, and we're gonna do a little bit of workout before the storm's coming, because it looks like there's a little bit of storm coming, a little bit of storm coming, a little bit of storm coming. So we're gonna do a little bit of drill, a little bit of drill, a little bit of drill, a little bit of drill. And that's how we're gonna get it done with that. So that's what we're gonna go get it down with that. But first, I gotta finish when I started discussing the DRT, the debt refusion theory 4D. Creation of the UE, the creation of the UE, the creation of the UE, the creation of the UE. Universal exchange unit. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. Create, of course, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the UE, the universal exchange unit. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt, we're gonna create a new currency based on the United States dollar. So once again, the DRT contains monetary integration theory. So we're gonna take my 10,500, yours, all the debt, the public and the private debt, and we're gonna create a new currency based on, of course, the value of the United States dollar. So all the debt, public and the private debt, coast to coast, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Oh, my debt, my debt, my debt, my debt. Your debt, of course, my debt, my debt. Your debt and my debt, we're gonna take it all. So all the debt, the public and the private, the public and the private debt. My 10,500, your 10,500. So we're gonna create all the debt, the public and the private debt, converted all added up into a new currency. So all the public private debt converted to US dollars. All the public and the private debt converted to US dollar. That will be the initial money supply for a new central bank. So all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. That is gonna be the initial money supply, the initial money supply for a new central bank, and that's what we're gonna go create. So take all the public and the private debt, take all the public and the private debt, take all the public and the private debt, and we're gonna create the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit. So all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna go create, of course, all the currencies. We're gonna take all the currencies of the United States, Canada, Mexico, and we're gonna create a new central bank based on that. So all the public and the private debt, we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna create with that money of all the private and the public debt will be the initial money supply for this new central bank, just like they did in the European Union. So that will be the initial money supply, all the debt. My 10,500, yours, coast to coast, converted to US dollars, converted to US dollars, converted to US dollars, converted to US dollars, converted to US dollars. So all the public and the private debt converted to US dollars gonna create a new central bank, a new central bank, a new central bank. And it's gonna be, of course, the creation of a new central bank, and of course we're gonna create a new central bank, and gonna create that new central bank, and we're gonna create a new central bank, and of course that central bank is gonna be called the North American Integrated Central Bank, or whatever we call it, of course, and they're gonna create a new currency called the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, U dot, Universal E dot Exchange Unit, the U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit, the U dot Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, U dot Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, based on the United States dollars, the United States dollar, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, based on the United States dollars. We're gonna create the Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, United States, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit. So we're gonna create all the public and the private debt. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna convert, of course, into US dollars. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, the UE. We're gonna create the UE. So all that public private debt, my 10,500 euros coast to coast, ocean to ocean, with the Mexican debt, we're gonna create, of course, a new currency called the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, based on the United States dollar, the United States dollar, the United States dollar. We're gonna create a Universal Exchange, and we're gonna create the Universal Exchange Unit based on the US dollar. We're gonna create, of course, the Universal Exchange Unit, of course. So we're gonna create the Universal Exchange Unit, of course, based on the US dollar. So, and then we're gonna set an interest rate level of 10%. 10% maximum. It could be 3.33, 7.18, 8.0, 4.18, whatever the number is. So that's the solution, my brothers and sisters. At this moment in time, with how much interest, just the interest we pay on the debt, there's no solution. But my DRT, I say this with the utmost sincerity, that there is no solution but the DRT, the debt refusions theory, containing monetary integration theory. Once again, explains simply, we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna create, of course, some money. Inside that, all the public-private debt will be the initial money supply to create a new currency, to create a new currency, to create a new currency, to create a new currency. All that money is going to be, of course, the initial money supply, and of course, is going to be an initial money supply, of course, for the creation of the new central bank, and of course, is going to be a new central bank, of course, the creation, and of course, that's going to be the initial money supply. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt, we're gonna create it, of course. Gonna take all the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna create a new currency called, of course, the universal exchange unit. The universal exchange unit, we're gonna get it, of course. Take all the public and the private debt. So that's the only solution. There's no solution but the DRT. I can say clearly, and this comes out of the curse of Asperger's, that there's no solution but the DRT, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the universal exchange unit. So all the public and the private debt converted to US dollars, that will be, of course, the initial money supply. So that money supply is going to be the initial money supply for this new central bank. Whatever we call it, is going to be the universal exchange unit, 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 the universal exchange, the U, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit. So all that public and that private debt, that's gonna be the initial money supply. We're gonna set an interest rate level of 10%. It could be less, not more, by principle. And all that money, the public-private debt of Canada, US, Mexico, we're gonna finance the initial money supply, and of course we're gonna build more infrastructure. We're gonna build more infrastructure. We're gonna build more infrastructure. Of course, we're gonna create more, build more tunnels. Open up, of course, more tunnels, and build infrastructure. Cheyenne Mountain, and we're gonna be able to build the infrastructure of North America. The infrastructure of North America. We're gonna be able to rebuild the infrastructure, and have defense, blah 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 blah. Defense, coast ocean to ocean, Dragon Army, build more satellites, security and service, the public-private partnership, support the dream. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, support the dream. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, support the dream. There's no solution now where we are, but my theory, the DRT, the creation of the UE, the universal exchange unit, for the creation of the UE. There's no other solution but the DRT for the creation of the universal exchange unit. That I can say with all heart, 100% passion. The curse of Asperger's has made me predisposed to obsessive interest. One of those obsessive interests, besides sports and fitness and dancing being my favorite sport, it is, of course, the study, the analysis of geopolitics, geopolitical studies. And when you study geopolitics, of course, that is the study of geopolitics. That is the geopolitical studies. And of course, the geopolitical studies has makes me predisposed to obsessive interest. And of course, the Asperger curse has proven, of course, to be a blessing for me, for you, for us. Of course, the curse of Asperger's, of course, makes me predisposed to obsessive interest. Of course, and those obsessive interests are, of course, those things which, of course, makes me predisposed to such studies such as geopolitics. And out of studying geopolitics, when you got to know a little bit about public finance. So the curse of Asperger's has given me the blessing that I present the remedy, the solution, the DRT as the only solution. There's no other solution where we are now, paying 46.5 in interest from 20.3, it more than doubled. 20.3, it more than doubled. From 20.3, it more than doubled. From 20.3, it more than doubled to 46.5, to 46.5 billion. And of course, that's why we pay interest. That's why we pay, of course, interest. And of course, that is the interest which we pay. So there's no other solution but the DRT for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the universal exchange unit, and of course the creation of the universal exchange unit, and of course the creation of the UE universal U dot. So all the public and the private debt will, of course, be, of course, the initial money supply for this new central bank, which of course is going to be the initial money supply for this new central bank, which we're going to call, of course, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the UE universal exchange unit, U dot E dot universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, based on the value of the US dollar, with all that public and the private debt being the initial money supply for this new central bank. We're gonna be creating, of course, the new central bank for the creation of the UE, and of course we're gonna create it for the creation of the universal exchange, for the creation of the universal exchange unit. And that's the solution to be XYZ. You can argue all you want, left, right, and center, but there's no solution but the DRT, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange, and that is the only solution for the creation of the universal exchange and the universal exchange and the universal exchange and the UE, the universal exchange and the creation of the universal exchange and the universal exchange and the text. Collapse. So the creation of the universal exchange unit for the creation of the universal exchange unit, of course, it's gonna be of course the creation of the universal exchange unit for the creation of the universal exchange unit. For the UE, the universal exchange unit, that is the only solution for the creation of the universal exchange unit. That is the only solution for the creation of the universal exchange unit, universal exchange unit. For the creation of the universal exchange unit, the UE, the universal exchange unit, the only solution is the creation of the universal exchange unit. That is the only and once and only solution and once and only solution and once and only solution. Proud to present the DRT take all public and private debt for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the universal exchange unit, universal exchange unit. The DRT, debt refusion theory, 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 debt refusion theory. For the creation of the DRT, the debt refusion theory, DRT, debt refusion theory, DRT, take all public and private debt. The moon, half moon, take all public and private debt and create the universal exchange unit, 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 for the creation, of course, of the UE. It's gonna take all the public-private debt once again. That is the only solution. With all that money, that's gonna be the public-private debt is gonna be the initial money supply for this new central bank, for this new central bank, for this new central bank. So all that money, the public and the private debt is gonna be the initial money supply for this new central bank. This new central bank, we're gonna create it just like they did in the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, and of course we're gonna create a new central bank, and we're gonna create the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit. So all the public and the private debt, we're gonna create it for the Universal Exchange Unit, 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 for the So take all public and private debt, refuse it, create the universal exchange, the only solution. And of course, we're gonna create the universal exchange, the UE. The universal exchange, the universal exchange, we're gonna create the universal exchange and the universal exchange and the universal exchange. So take all the public and the private debt, refuse it, create the universal exchange, and now we're gonna switch it to that French because we're in la belle province. I'm gonna discuss the DRT. So let's go before we get a little bit of that sun. We're gonna discuss the DRT, and we're gonna get, of course, on the XYZ. We're gonna get it for the XYZ. Let's go. The DRT, we're gonna create, of course, the universal exchange unit, and of course, we're gonna create the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt, my private debt, your private debt, our private debt. We're gonna create the universal exchange unit, the U dot, universal E dot exchange unit, the U dot. By all the public and the private debt of Canada, United States, Mexico, North American countries, and that money is going to be the initial money supply for this new central bank, and this new central bank is going to be, of course, the creation of the universal exchange unit, the North American integrated citizen bank, just like the European Union did, just like in the European Union, the euro with the creation of the euro. So that is the solution where we are now with the public and the private debt. There's no other solution, brothers and sisters. I can say this clearly here on the stadium, in the field, on the field, about to switch it to that French when the sun is gonna come, and then we're gonna do those drills. So now to that French. Bonjour, bienvenue. Et votre dragon arc-en-ciel vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. Je dis ma gratitude. Mon loyer est payé, ma facture d'XTP, j'ai du café puis du thé, des chansons rock'n'roll, votre aspect artiste, athlète, philosophe, en vous encourageant à faire l'entraînement physique. L'entraînement physique a été sévèrement médecine et thérapie de choix en vous encourageant à faire l'entraînement physique. Cette marche de lundi, mon célébration de 7 ans depuis que je suis sorti de la dépression puis de suicidaire. Quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, et quand j'ai fait 7 ans, quand ça fait 7 ans, j'ai traversé de côte à côte le Canada, et je suis allé premièrement en août 2017, et maintenant en septembre 2017 en août, au début à l'ouest, vers de Montréal à Vancouver, en Colombie-Britannique. Ça a pris 3 jours et demi pour se rendre en autobus. Fait que j'étais à Vancouver, en Colombie-Britannique, J'étais à Vancouver, je suis allé, bien sûr, j'ai fait ce voyage en 7 ans. En faisant appel pour le 7e, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression. J'étais en dépression, puis suicidaire, puis cet événement dans ma vie, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression. J'ai commencé à m'entraîner. Faire l'entraînement physique. C'est ma médecine et thérapie de choix parallèlement avec la gratitude. Je viens de voir du monde qui s'aime, qui font du sport parallèlement, qui font du sport parallèlement, qui font du sport, bien sûr, puis en faisant l'entraînement physique, ça en fait toujours de bonne humeur. Puis maintenant, mon seul stress est financier. Mon seul stress maintenant, c'est financier, économique, commercial. Mon seul stress maintenant est commercial, économique, financier, bien sûr, mais avec la gratitude, c'est bon pour la santé mentale. Puis l'entraînement physique, ça me rend toujours plaisir, puis la joie. Puis vous savez que l'Asperger's, encore une fois, l'Asperger's, je suis HP, il n'y a pas de maladie mentale. C'est une condition de neurodivergence psychique. Ça fait de moi-même que j'ai des intérêts obsessifs. Puis ces intérêts obsessifs, bien sûr, c'est la géopolitique. Les études de l'analyse de la géopolitique, je suis un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique indépendant qui a prévu en 2019 la situation qui se déroule en ce moment. Je l'ai prévu en 2019. J'avais prévu une conflagration internationale. Eh oui, puis j'ai la preuve parce que j'ai discuté ce scénario potentiel d'une 3e guerre mondiale, une conflagration internationale. Je l'ai discuté bien sûr en 2019 et je continue avec cette vidéo sur YouTube parce que je travaille avec mon laptop, c'est pas la meilleure qualité, mais Des fois, c'est plus le contenu que ce que je dicte, communication orale. Par communication orale, mes philosophies en tant que philosophe, mes initiatives, que je fais appel à tous et à toutes à soutenir. Le rêve du dragon arc-en-ciel, le rêve du dragon arc-en-ciel, le rêve du dragon arc-en-ciel, bien sûr, le rêve du dragon arc-en-ciel, bien sûr, de votre dragon arc-en-ciel, le rêve, bien sûr, le rêve, bien sûr, le rêve, bien sûr, de ce dragon arc-en-ciel qui est bien sûr ce rêve pour un partenariat public-privé à travers le collectif de civilisation américain, à travers le collectif de civilisation américain, à travers l'Amérique du Nord, à travers l'Amérique du Nord, à travers l'Amérique du Nord, bien sûr. C'est ce drive-là qui se manifeste comme le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse. Je salue les camionneurs, amour, amoureu ou pompiers, amour aux camionneurs, aux chauffeurs d'autobus, aux infirmières. Dans les garderies, ça change des couches. Puis bien sûr, à ceux qui font des patates dans la cuisine du fromage, puis ils font la livraison, la production alimentaire, ceux qui font la production alimentaire dans les gratte-ciels, les travailleurs en construction, les pompiers, ceux des travailleurs publics qui remplacent les aqueducs. Merci, c'est à cause de vous, l'eau potable. La civilisation est un privilège, celle-là a été ma thèse que j'ai présentée en tant que le docteur du peuple en 2023, le soleil, mon pape, sort. Fait que je discute la TRD, la théorie de la refusion de la dette maintenant. C'est quoi la TRD? C'est que je vous présente cette bénédiction qui est la TRD, qui inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire. C'est quoi ça? C'est qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe. Les Européens, les Allemands, les Italiens, les Français, puis tous les autres pays ont laissé faire leur ancienne monnaie, puis ont créé une unité d'échange commune, ils ont créé une unité d'échange commune, une unité d'échange commune. L'euro, bien sûr, ils ont fait une unité... une unité d'échange commune, une unité d'échange commune, bien sûr, ils ont fait une unité d'échange commune. Et bien sûr, on va faire la même chose, mais la TRD, je vous présente ça comme bénédiction à cause que j'ai été maudit, une malédiction de l'Asperger's. Avec l'Asperger's, ça a été, c'est encore une fois, l'Asperger's, c'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est une condition de neurodivergence mentale psychique, puis ça fait que j'ai des intérêts obsessifs, puis ces intérêts obsessifs, bien sûr, c'est l'analyse en géopolitique, c'est l'analyse en géopolitique, c'est l'analyse en géopolitique, bien sûr, puis bien sûr, avec l'analyse en géopolitique, c'est bien sûr aussi l'entraînement physique, bien sûr, c'est aussi l'entraînement physique, bien sûr, c'est l'entraînement physique, c'est l'entraînement physique, c'est l'entraînement physique. Et bien sûr, cet entraînement physique parallèlement avec, bien sûr, la géopolitique, c'est mon royaume, puis mon domaine, c'est mon royaume, puis mon domaine, c'est mon royaume, puis mon domaine, bien sûr. C'est mon royaume, puis mon domaine, bien sûr. Et bien sûr, je vous présente la théorie de la refusion de la dette. Je vais la discuter maintenant, et c'est le temps que je m'entraîne en vrai. Fait que c'est la seule et unique théorie, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça contient la théorie d'intégration monétaire, c'est qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette, ma dette de 10 500, la mienne, la vôtre, la tienne, la mienne. On va prendre toute cette dette de Canada, je parle pour le collectif de civilisation américain, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée. On va faire une refusion, conversion à l'argent, à la devise des États-Unis, parce que la devise des États-Unis, c'est encore, bien sûr, la devise de choix, bien sûr, la devise de choix du Canada. C'est encore mondial, international, le dollar américain, bien sûr. C'est encore la devise de choix international, mondial, bien sûr, pour en faire, bien sûr, une conflagration internationale, mais bien sûr, c'est encore la monnaie de change, pas juste de change du commerce international, mais c'est la monnaie, bien sûr, pour les finances du monde, bien sûr, la monnaie de choix, bien sûr. On va prendre toute la dette, mon 10 500, le mien, le tien, le nôtre, le vôtre, bien sûr, de côte à côte, bien sûr, puis on va faire une refusion, bien sûr. Fait que cette refusion, ça va faire de la création d'une nouvelle monnaie d'échange. On va faire la création de cette nouvelle monnaie d'échange, 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 bien sûr. Fait que la conversion de cette monnaie d'échange, l'UI, on va l'appeler l'UI, basée sur le dollar américain. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette, mon 10 500, mon 10 500, mon 10 500, le mien, le vôtre, le tien. toute la dette publique privée des pays de l'Amérique du Nord, on fait la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis. Puis avec cet argent-là, ça va être l'argent initial pour la création d'une nouvelle banque parce que la nouvelle banque, bien sûr, qu'on va appeler comment qu'on l'appelle, mais c'est qu'est-ce que avant qu'on l'appelle, ça ne dérange pas, c'est juste le principe. Puis tenez compte encore une fois que MATRD, ça contient la théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça contient bien sûr la théorie d'intégration monétaire, ce qui est exactement qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe, bien sûr, c'est exactement qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe, bien sûr, c'est exactement qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe, en Europe. Les Européens ont adopté une nouvelle commune, ils ont fait une nouvelle banque centrale, bien sûr, ils ont fait une nouvelle banque centrale, 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 une nouvelle banque centrale, bien sûr, qui ont fait de la création de cette nouvelle banque centrale, bien sûr, nouvelle banque centrale, nouvelle banque centrale, nouvelle banque centrale, nouvelle banque centrale, bien sûr, nouvelle banque centrale, nouvelle banque centrale, nouvelle banque centrale, nouvelle banque centrale. C'est une nouvelle banque centrale. Fait qu'on on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, toute la dette publique-privée. Bien sûr, on va faire toute cette refusion, bien sûr, cette refusion, on va faire. We're gonna do that refusion. On va faire cette refusion. Fait que toute la dette publique-privée, bien sûr, toute la dette publique-privée, toute la dette publique-privée, on va faire cette refusion. Fait qu'on va faire la monnaie ensemble, toute cette monnaie ensemble. Tout l'argent, cet argent, ça va fonder l'argent initial de cette nouvelle banque, de cette nouvelle banque, de cette nouvelle banque, bien sûr, de cette nouvelle banque, de cette nouvelle banque, de cette nouvelle banque, de cette nouvelle banque, bien sûr. Fait que toute la dette publique-privée des États-Unis convertit la dette canadienne de la devise en devise des États-Unis. Fait qu'on va devoir convertir toute la dette publique-privée des Canadiens. On va faire la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis, dans la devise des États-Unis, dans la devise des États-Unis. On va faire la conversion du peso mexicain dans la devise des États-Unis. On va faire tout ça ensemble dans la devise des États-Unis. Toute cette dette publique-privée, Canada, États-Unis, puis d'autres pays, Haïti, que ce soit, des pays de l'Amérique du Nord, les îles en mais les îles, ils font partie de l'Amérique du Nord, qu'est-ce que j'appelle le collectif nord-américain. Fait que toute cette dette, ça va fonder l'argent initial pour cette nouvelle banque, ça va fonder l'argent de cette nouvelle banque. On va mettre un taux, ça va être l'argent initial pour la création de l'unité d'échange universel. U.U, unité, E.échange universel, parce que c'est ça l'argent, c'est pour acheter puis vendre. Fait qu'on va créer l'UI, UI, en anglais c'est UI. Un UI égale au dollar des États-Unis. Fait que ça va être comme, bien sûr, qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe, qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe, les Européens. On va faire la conversion, bien sûr, de cette nouvelle monnaie. L'UI, unité d'échange universel, unité d'échange universel, unité d'échange universel. Fait que toute cette conversion de cette UI, ça va être de l'argent de notre la nouvelle monnaie en circulation, comme qu'ils ont fait en Europe, la création de l'euro, nous on va créer l'UI. On va prendre toute la dette, mais la différence, c'est qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée pour l'argent initial. On va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10%, ça peut être 9, ça peut être 3,33, ça peut être 1,56, 9,3, 6,1, 7,7, combien que ça soit. Mais ça va être en bas de 10, en bas de 10, en bas de 10, et bien sûr, ça va être en bas de 10 par principe. Et ça va être l'unité d'échange universelle. Avec tout cet argent-là, on va pouvoir rebâtir l'infrastructure, bâtir plus de centrales Hydro-Québec, fonder l'armée de la déesse et du dragon qui danse, et bien sûr, on va financer les gens en fait d'entraînement physique, parce que ça fait du bien pour la santé mentale. C'est moi pour l'entraînement physique, puis aujourd'hui, en célébrant 7 ans de quand j'ai conquis la dépression, puis être suicidaire, bien sûr, quand je suis parti, bien sûr, de la dépression, puis être suicidaire, quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, bien sûr, quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, et bien sûr, la création de l'UI, unité d'échange universel, U. Unité, E. Échange universel, U. E. Échange universel, unité, U. Unité, E. Échange universel, on va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10%, et that's it, that's all, rock'n'roll, la création de l'UI, votre dragon arc-en-ciel vous encourage à l'entraînement physique, let's go! Yeah. Let's go. Hydrate HYDRAD considerada. Oh yeah, I miss some good loving, man. Love you, rock and roll. We're gonna go to hydrate, cause we're gonna get. I wanna go and see how much that sun is over there. I live water, you Selena, and gonna go jog. Oh wow, it's already on the go. So let's go. On the jog. Towards the sun we go. On the jog we rock and roll. On the road for rock and roll. Look at that beautiful sky. Wow. Isn't that heaven, man? Look at that. Listen. Look at that, man. Look at the sky, man. That's the rainbow. Regardez le ciel là-bas. Look at that sky. Look at that sky, man. Look at that sky, man. Wow. Look at that sky. Isn't that heaven, man? Wow. To myself, look at the sky. Look at the sky. There's a rainbow. No self-importance. Did you see the sky? Did you see the sky?
Sure.
Did you see?
It's amazing, man.
Look at that. We give ourselves so much self-importance, but sometimes, man,
Yeah.
look at that. Isn't that like just wow, man?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful, man. Just
True.
wow. C'est vraiment beau. Bye.
Bye.
Heavens, man. Heavens. Oh, I got 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. Pyramids. The poison. Shit. Oh yeah, man. What a sky. Quel beau ciel. That was quite something. That was just gorgeous, amazing. Saw the rainbow also, so 7 colors, celebrating 7 years, 7 ans bien sûr, so gonna go get that hydration, and somebody's holding some hands there. I'm just gonna tie my laces, you know, tie my laces. Je dois bien sûr attacher mes lacets, bien sûr, attacher mes lacets, bien sûr. So gotta get it on the X, you know. Tie my laces there. I'm gonna go get more of that water, and then we're gonna head to see where the sun is. Now it's 7:54. Wow, already been. I lost track of time. J'ai perdu le sens du temps. I lost track. Really lost a little bit of track of time though. So this has to be recycled. I lost track of time in the sun working out. J'ai perdu le sens du temps. It's gonna work out a bit. I'm just curious where the sun is when I reach over there. Je suis vraiment curieux, il y a où le soleil quand je vais être là-bas, mais we're gonna see it on the go, you know. So that's what we're gonna go drill it in the sun right there, you know. So that's what we're gonna go check it out. First, we're gonna get that water, man. Gotta salute those who build it again. Salute, thank you, LOV to those public workers, amour, bien sûr, le travail public qui ont construit, bien sûr, tout en dessous de la terre au 20e siècle, 20th century for me to drink clean, healthy water, you know. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh yeah. Thank you again. I got this clean water. C'est de l'eau potable. Think about it. Just think about that. Pensez à ça, bien sûr. Think about all the potable water, all the under the ground work, man. The aqueducts, les aqueducs en dessous de la terre. It's something to meditate upon, you know? I'm only imagining now how much work it took, you know? Brains and muscle to build all that. You know what I mean? Just to drink healthy water, man. It's quite something, you know? There's things you gotta think about sometimes, you know? I mean, I've been meditating since ever I died of COVID. Puis que je suis mort de la COVID, bien sûr. Je médite à ces choses-là quand même. You know, civilization is a privilege, you know? La civilisation est un privilège, you know? So that's what it is with that, you know? So we gotta get it on towards the sun again, you know? On doit aller vers le soleil. Gotta go towards that sun, you know? So we gotta get it on the XYZ. So we're gonna get drilling, man, with that. So gonna get it drilled. I'm curious where the sun is now, but what a beautiful sky, you know? It's just over there, you should see the rainbow. See, the sky is so beautiful, man. It's just so nice. You can see half of the moon, la moitié de la lune. It's a nice bench. Nice sunflowers. Kind of a cute garden there. I like those yellows, so you know how we drill with that. See a beautiful half moon. Where the goddess Dieu déesse? Et où la déesse? Déesse. Gotta get that sky, man. Beautiful sky. Le beau soleil. Le coucher de soleil. Gotta get that sky, you know. Gotta get that sky. Gotta get that drill, so. Yeah. Mediocre loves. Well, that's that Wi-Fi Cisco, man. Gotta meditate on those Wi-Fi's. Dois méditer sur les. Oh, I cannot see the sunset that well. What time is it? Je peux pas vraiment voir le coucher de soleil. Je pensais que j'allais être capable de voir. Hein. Vraiment bien, mais thought I was gonna be able to see it really well, but hey, what time is it now? Quelle heure qui est maintenant? It's exactly 8 o'clock. Il est justement 8 heures. 8 heures exactement. 8 heures exactement. Regardez le beau coucher de soleil, 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 le beau coucher de soleil. Yeah, beautiful sky, look at that. Beautiful sky. Le bleu ciel, là, quelle beauté. What a beautiful sky. That's interesting. How come it has 45, 45, 45 there, 45, and there it says, puis ici ça dit 45 aussi, 45 also. Shouldn't be 44 and 45? See, they're both, c'est ça je me demande. Je pense qu'il y a une erreur. I think there's an error though, because it should be numbers, right? Unless 35 for something else. C'est 45, 45, 45, mais peut-être ça dit quelque chose de plus. American Bureau of Shipping. Bureau américain de shipping, Bureau américain de shipping. Ça dit 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, 45. 45, 45, 45. And hey, look, this looks like an animal there. Like a gnome and then an animal. Let's go. Just gonna get it towards the drill there and just gonna explore a little bit here. This is part of the space, but so I can explore, but I won't touch. I'm just gonna explore. So I wanna see if I can see the sunset. Le coucher du soleil d'ici quelque part, mais oh, comment ça c'est? How come it's 45 and 45? Maybe there's a mistake. See, there also it says container, and there's a number 45. C'est 45, and the other one it's also 45. 45 and 40 shouldn't be 45 and 46 if it goes, or 44 and 45, and then right? I don't know, something odd. See the number 45 on both. Shouldn't be 144 and 145 or 45 and 46. It could be also 45 and 46 or 44. It could be 44 or 46. But 45 on both, I just find it odd. You get what I'm saying? Kind of mathematically, it should be, see the number 45 there, 45. Well, why is there a 45? Pourquoi c'est 45? What is, how come it's 40? Look at spider holy to the goddess. So, bien sûr, les araignées sont là pour la déesse. Spiders are holy to the goddess. Les serpents, les araignées, spiders, French araignées, les araignées, pour la déesse. What is that atop there? Oh my bells, what is that? Oh, that's cute. C'est cute, ça. Oh, that looks like an antenna, eh? C'est comme une antenne, je pense. Something maybe for an antenna or something. You know, we have all the gadgets which we don't know. Scientific. In a parallel life, I'm a super scientist. Dans une vie parallèle, je suis un super scientifique. I gotta tie my belt up. So anyways, I won't stay long here. I'm just gonna go drill. Do some push-ups. Finish the workout with some push-ups. I think it's always good to finir l'entraînement physique avec des pompes. So just gonna go drilling with some push-ups. But once again, I'm curious, how come the number 45 is here? Because that's 45 and that's 45. It doesn't make sense really to say 45 on that, because of course 45, it should be 46 or 44 and 45. You get what I'm saying? Mathematically, it doesn't, unless that 45 is for something else, that's how many feet or something else, what it's inside, or 45 for how many feet, how many kilos. But no, because all that's indicated here, kilos and height and all that. High, 9 inches high, where it is made. Approved for transport under custom seal. Containers number 1, Trust Company Complex. There are Majura, Marshall Islands, Alexander Island, Majura Custom Island. Manufactured by Shenzhen Southern Korean Manufacturers District called Shenzhen. I think that's China. Shenzhen Southern Eastern Logistics Equipment Manufacturer. Manufactured by CIMC. In the year of manufacture, safety approval. 2006 date manufacture. Is it that old? 2006. It's not that old, but 2006. I thought it was like 2010, 2015 maybe. Stack. So it's Shenzhen. So we got the manufacture day, approved for transport. Containers number 1, Trust Company. Let's see on the other one. That's 2006. See, we got information about the containers. Manufacturing, where was it manufactured? See, this one as well. This one also 2006. July 7th, month of Shenzhen, Southern CIA, so it's the same. Containers number 1, incorporated. Don't know if that exists anymore. Trust Company Complex, at the road, extra Majura, Marshall Island. Iraqi test stacked at 45, 40, and supported 45 locations. So, I don't know, whatever the case may be. Space Concordia Rocketry Division. Okay, that's cool. So, whatever. Cool. Oh, they were for the science for Concordia, something like that. Oh, interesting. So it's kind of cool. Well, we learn every day. I'm learning. I mean, my thing is geopolitics, fitness and rock and roll. Mon domaine, c'est la géopolitique, l'entraînement physique, et puis le rock and roll. And look at that beautiful sky. Red, R-E-D, and the moon. Goddess, I say goddess, G-O-D-D-S-S. If one loving, we gotta get some of that loving. Gotta loving, getting some of that loving. More, we gotta get some of that loving. Some of that good loving, man. You know, so that's what it is. Look at that red, red, red. My favorite color, red in rising, red in setting. Le rouge, quand il se lève, quand il se couche. So we're gonna get it on the drill, you know, so. We're gonna get it on the X, and on the Y, and on the Z, and we're gonna do some push-ups here. We're gonna get some of those push-ups. We're gonna go drill it there, man, you know, so. We're gonna go drill it there, you know. Say it with me, I love push-ups, I love push-ups. J'aime les pompes, I love push-ups. J'aime les pompes, I love push-ups. I truly do love push-ups, j'aime les pompes. Dancing is my favorite sport, you get that. Adrian Hanna, Dragon, Play, Dragon, Rainbow, Dragon, Ashby, artist, athlete, philosopher, artist, athlete, philosopher. It's grateful, thankful, rent's paid, electricity bills paid. Got my DRT, Death Fusion Theory, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE, pour la création de l'universel, l'unité d'échange universelle. Is that DRT, c'est la théorie de la refusion de la dette. And that's all we gotta do for the drill. And rock and roll, geopolitics, fitness, dancing is my favorite sport. La danse est mon sport préféré, you get that. Androgynous, pansexual, rock and roll. Pansexual, androgène, rock and roll. And get it for that G-O-D-D-S-S. For that G-O-D-D-S-S. Pour la DS, pour la DS. And freedom, freedom, freedom. Very few of us are entitled to fight in the cause of freedom. I only know one person. La liberté, c'est vraiment peu de gens qui peuvent se battre pour la liberté, mais il y a vraiment peu de gens. So, how about we loving me some of those more push-ups, you bet. Say, I love push-ups, j'aime les pompes, let's go. Push me some of that up and some of that down. Oh, push les pompes, let's go on those push-ups. Push-ups, les pompes, les pompes. Oh, we gotta get on those push-ups. Fire bury me with Papa Crowley. Send me up in the city. From the pyramids to Montreal to Hampton, New Jersey. Bury me with Papa Crowley. Mettez-moi, enterrez-moi avec mon père Crowley. Alistair. Bury me with Papa Crowley, Crowley, Crowley. Bury me with Papa Crowley, Crowley, Crowley. Oh yeah, rock and roll. A third of me here, a third of me in New Jersey, Hampton, and a third of the city of the pyramid. Let's go. Bring in my summer, oh good rock and roll. Let's go twist those hips, left or right, just like this. Let's go twist those hips, left and right, just like this. Let's go twist those hips, left and right, just like this. And we're gonna love me some more push-ups, you bet. Gonna go get more hydration, man. Get that thirsty. Super important, super hydration. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, LOV. For the truckers on the road now, public workers, nurses, doctors. Always meditating. Je médite toujours, j'envoie de l'amour aux pompiers. amoureu, amoureux pompiers, les camionneurs sur l'autoroute, les fermiers, les boulangers, les travailleurs en construction, les infirmières, les ambulanciers, amoureux pompiers, encore une fois, puis les travailleurs publics. Yo, those troops, so we got LOV, NATO troops, Canadian Armed Forces, les forces armées canadiennes, amour, we gotta send them some of that good loving. And although financially stressed, I'm grateful, thankful, rent's paid, electricity bills paid, you know, and I love fitness, I love sports. I just saw some fitness being done, some fitness being done there in Concordia Stadium here. Je viens de voir l'entraînement physique, so gives me a little bit of good rock and roll, and got a little bit of sunset, got some gratitude and sunshine, got food when I get back, got some strawberry jam, which I'm gonna eat, you know. Holiday celebrating unto new that 418 418 la Telima got a feast on the budget, but although financially stressed, grateful, thankful, rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, même si je viens stress financier, j'ai du café, du thé, puis l'entraînement du café, du thé, puis de la nourriture chez nous, fait que ça en fait là, du bon, you know, so maybe I'm gonna pass by the fridge, see if somebody left some of that good, and got what to eat, gotta eat, and got a bit lustful, you know, got a little bit lustful a bit, god damn it, quand même un peu, hein, mais, you know, just, you know, physical health, gratitude is important for the mental health, la gratitude c'est bon pour la santé mentale, so, you know, good masturbation, I guess, later on, good masturbation plus tard, good masturbation, play that rainbow, anybody want to make LOV, consent, hygiene, that's it, that's all, men, women, whoever you are, adults, of course, adults. Adultes, vous êtes femmes, vous êtes hommes, bien sûr, amour en arc-en-ciel avec 18 ans et plus, là, consentement. Come loving with me, man. You know, love freely, I just ask, just demanding. If I can render some of that good loving, good service, consent, hygiene, that's all it is, bon service, amour, amour, you know, 21st century, rainbow, dragon, rock and roll, arc-en-ciel, that's it, that's all, man, you know, so. You know, that's it, that's all. Androgynous, rainbow, pansexual, artist, athlete, philosopher with Asperger's, athlete, artist, philosophe, you know. I'm grateful, joyous, and we're gonna wrap it up some more push-ups, and I think I'm gonna go hydrate again. I'm still thirsty. J'ai encore soif. On va juste faire comme 5 minutes de pompe, mais we're gonna do some LOV, some of those push-ups again, so let's love me some of those push-ups. Say, I love push-ups. The Gemini pump up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotta give me some of that. Helicopter chopper. Turn your to the left or right, de la gauche, de la droite. L'hélicoptère, we launch. Gotta do some hawks also. On fait des éperviers, let's go. Launch. Launch those rockets, on lance. La fusée dans les airs, hands up. On those toes we go as a ballerina, ballet, that hawk, H-A-W-K, hawk head turning east, west, north, south. On tourne l'épervier de la gauche, de la droite, de la gauche, de la droite, de la gauche, de la droite. Turn that hawk head east, west, north, south, east, west, north, south. On the east, on the go. On the toes, sur les orteils. Oh, yeah, that felt so good. That feels so good. Gotta play me some of that rainbow, you know. So that's all it is, you know. And hey, Hawk, defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, Dragon Army, Dancing Goddess Army, that complementary covenant. Support the DRT, debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE is the only solution. Take all public-private debt, refuse it, base it on the United States dollar conversion, convert it to US dollar, all the debt of North America. Create the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, la DRT, théorie de la refusion de la dette, prendre toute la dette publique-privée, faire la refusion, bien sûr, la conversion en devise des États-Unis, puis tout ça, on va faire le financement d'une banque pour la création de l'unité d'échange universelle. C'est la seule solution, mes chers, il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Let's go, give me some of those squats. How about 7 set accroupissement? On descend en bas, bring that booty and that peach low. LOW, bring that booty and that peach low. LOW, bring that booty and that peach low. LOW, bring that booty and that peach. LOW, 3 more, let's go. L, O W L O W L O W. Let's go. Tick tock on the clock. Spin it left or right. Oh yeah, that feels so good. We're feeling good. Gotta get that right. We're gonna go get it. And we're gonna go do, DU, let's go. In 10 seconds more push-ups. This push-ups is for that person wearing my favorite color, red. Kijk, ça c'est les pompes. Maar qui porte ma couleur préférée rouge, red. RED, let's go. Bring it up and down, we see. Bring it up and down, you leave. Bring it up and down. We LOV push-ups. Oh yeah. Woo. Oh, some good loving for the push-ups. Ça c'était des bonnes pompes qu'on a aimé, bien sûr. So that's how we gotta go drill it and let's go. Bring it on the go. Twist those hips. Oh, tourne. Les hanches de la gauche, la droite. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Last push-ups. Let's go, bring in some of that LOV for the push-ups that you see. I'm gonna pull it pompa, let's go. We're gonna bring in LOV, so that you see. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good way. Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah. Yeah. LOV, man. Get some of that good loving. Still got the steps a little bit, and that's it for today. C'est tout pour aujourd'hui. Un bon entraînement, but from here to my place is still about an hour, so I'm gonna clocking back, shower, eat, cause I'm hungry. Prendre une douche, manger, parce que j'ai faim, puis j'ai pas fini mon nettoyage, je continue à nettoyer. Keep on doing that cleaning, It's cleaning until September 11th, jusqu'à 11 septembre. That's when I'm gonna be celebrating my 40 days in 2007 when cross Canada coast to coast, because 2007 now when August was in the west, Vancouver, so celebrating today, 7 years not conquered being depressed and suicidal, ben, célèbre aujourd'hui 7 ans depuis que j'ai été en dépression puis suicidaire, and it's always getting me some of those drills, it's something which of course I encourage to mass finance, citizens to work out, train, exercise, and we need to mass finance citizens to work out and to do a little bit of traveling. Gonna turn my head here a little bit, look at the moon. That's the moon, goddess. They do say goddess is a mystic. C'est mystique comme. Je parle de la déesse aussi. Let's take a look at our little garden, man. I love yellow flowers. Let me smell it a little bit, see if they smell. Oh, it's so cute. Beautiful, ça sent. Oh yeah, not that much though. Any bees? Where there's bees, there is honey. Yeah. Oh yeah. Where there's bees, there's honey. Where there's bees, there's honey. Où qu'il y a des abeilles, il y a du miel. Où qu'il y a des abeilles, il y a du miel. Where there's bees, there's honey. You know we gotta dwell in up, you see. Rock and roll for the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses, for the doctors. To rock and roll pour les fermiers, les camionneurs. Trêve en confection. Singing some of that good rock and roll. It's bon rock and roll and finish it with rock and roll. Always like to finish it with that rock and roll, and then I'm gonna be singing some of that rock and roll right here, smelling some of these flowers, and then going inside hydrating. So you can right here, I guess. Where the flowers at? We're gonna spin it. Let's go rock and roll, hydrate. Ooh, did I sit on? What did I sit on? Let's go. Finish summer, we're back. Rock on that roller. Oops, I don't want to damage you flowers. Sorry. Pardon. Woo. I don't want to damage any flowers. Je veux pas endommager les fleurs. Thank you. Those who put these yellow flowers. I love yellow flowers. J'aime les fleurs jaunes. So I'm gonna hydrate. Singing me some of that yellow. For the flippers, say hello. For the singers, for the butchers, for the bakers, always for the truckers, hey. Going on the road from the Mexico up in the blower to the Montreal UC, let's go. Hydrate. Pour les camionneurs qui traversent du Mexique jusqu'à Montréal. Et amènent, puis ils en viennent de l'est à l'ouest, au nord au sud. Et les enfants qui dansent dans la rue. Hey, taisez-vous, faites attention à l'automobile. Hey, that the children dancing in the streets. Be careful that the car went too fast, gotta slow down. For the safety of the children when they're dancing in the streets. Give me some of that chord, give me some of that love, give me some of that bacon chopping love. Donne-moi un peu d'amour, hey, toutes les états de les provinces. Québécois, québécoises, jusqu'aux îles, passez la Madeleine, madame, mesdames, messieurs et arc-en-ciel, c'est pas grave si on danse avec le noir puis le blanc puis l'arc-en-ciel, le ciel bleu, carrément. Let's go black and white and rainbow, let's go black and white and rainbow, let's go black and white and rainbow. Sweat see that's you go, so that's it, that's you go, so that's it, that's we low. Oh wow, look at that. He came up. He's gonna go down. I think that's a little mouse. Went inside. See there? Je pense qu'il y a une souris qui est descendue d'en haut. Puis là, ça va. Va faire du bruit, right? I don't know if it's visible, but it kind of went. It's visible there. It's in the corner. I'm gonna just say, sing some rock and roll. I'm gonna go get some more water. But that was quite trippy, though. So it came down and went back up. Came down and went back up. Like a mouse. Mouse eater that you see. Comme une souris. Qui est descendu bien vite. Et ça en est pour boire de l'eau. Gotta get some of that hydration. Public security guard, smiling watermark. Yeah, I know, my rock and roll sometimes is like comedy, you know? Mon rock and roll, c'est comme des fois, c'est comme la comédie. I know. My rock and roll, sometimes comedy. Mon rock and roll, c'est des fois comme la comédie. That's what it is, you know. So. Again, thank you, workers, public workers. We got aqueducts, public workers, and on a des aqueducs qui sont en dessous de la terre pour qu'on ait de l'eau potable. Salutations, thank you. Public works, public works, public works. Les travaux publics. I'm a philosopher as well, you know. So I meditate on these things. Je suis un philosophe aussi. Fait que je médite à ces choses-là aussi au quotidien, you know. So it takes some old school with a new school. Ça prend aussi de la vieille école. Pas toujours du nouveau, nouveau, nouveau. Ça en prend un peu de la vieille école. It takes a little bit of that old school as well, eh? It takes a little bit of that old school as well. It takes a little bit of that old school. So it takes a little bit of that old school as well. Ça prend un peu de la vieille école aussi, man. I got a mouth so you can kiss it, je. Bouche pour donner des bisous. Bisous, j'en ai. Hein? Bisous, câlin, château, rock'n'roll, pompe. Méditation, philosophie, initiative, initiatives. Right now, my only stress is really just financial stress at the moment. Maintenant, aujourd'hui, là, le coucher du soleil, c'est juste du stress financier que je vis, mais je suis ouvert pour des affaires. Puis... Non, j'ai eu bien des emplois durant la COVID, puis avant ça, mais avec l'Asperger, c'est beaucoup de malentendus. There's a lot of misunderstandings with Asperger's. I'm neurodivergent, you know. Je suis neurodivergent. C'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est une condition de neurodivergence. Ça fait que j'ai des intérêts obsessifs, mais je suis maître de la géopolitique, c'est mon royaume, mon domaine. It is my kingdom, my realm, my domain, geopolitics, you know, to the point that I've actually predicted the current situation. I'm just gonna stretch a bit on the chair here. Juste un peu d'assis sur la chaise. Just gonna stretch and we're gonna wrap up here and I'm gonna go home. From here to my place it's about 45 minutes. D'ici jusqu'à chez nous, so I'm gonna be back by 9:30 jusqu'à 9h30. Quelle heure qui est? Il est 8h30. It's 8:30, so I should be back, of course, I should be back by 8:30, you know, by 9:30 in an hour. I'm gonna stay here just 2 minutes and we're gonna drill it back as a matter of fact. And just wanna stretch a bit, so stretching a bit. On the chair. That's about it. And then we're gonna head back to headquarters and we're gonna rock and roll from here now. Actually, we're just gonna drill it back. As I said, sunset, so gotta go eat. I'm actually hungry. Je dois aller manger vraiment pour être honnête avec vous. Là. J'ai faim. I'm just gonna take 3 pictures. That's it, 3 pictures. Son there. Three for three, I guess. Time to go eat. I'm hungry. Tant que j'ai mangé parce que j'ai faim, je dois le dire honnêtement. So. My phone's bugging, so I need a new phone. J'ai besoin d'une nouvelle personne. Open for business. Ouvert pour les affaires. Open for business. So I'm just gonna put on a backpack and we're gonna head out. I'm just gonna go. Because I touched so many things, you know, so I'm just gonna disinfect the hands here. There's a disinfector here. I think it works. Just because there's bacteria, make some. Oh yeah. It's cold. So 10 seconds. 9, 9, 8, 6. This one is the good. It's a bit foamy, but Canada, Unica Canada, gel antiseptic, gel, 70% alcohol, kills bacteria, germs, microbes. That's all I need. Ça tue les microbes, bactéries. C'est Canada, Canadian made in Canada, maple leaf. Yeah, that's all I need to know. What it is. It smells good, but got a disinfectant right there. See, so just because there's bacteria, microbes, germs, and I mean I touch so many things here and there, you know. Now I'm just gonna push it with the hand like that, just to be on the safe side, you know. So I'm I have a bit like germs, microbes, bacteria. J'ai un peu pour les germes, bactéries puis microbes, là, mais that beautiful sunset. So grateful, thankful, rent, paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. Gratitude. J'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, j'ai du café petit chez nous. So we're getting back home in about 45 minutes from here, à peu près 45 minutes. See ya. Let's go towards that sunset. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and we'll consent à la vie avec consentement. Amour, support this independent aspire, artist, athlete, philosopher, soutenir. Artiste, athlète, philosophe avec aspire. Support the dream, the dancing artist in the dragon kingdom. Soutenir le rêve de votre dragon arc-en-ciel. Le rêve. Support the dream, man.